Hey, James here. I'm gonna have to apologise for the audio on this video. It's currently 13 degrees and blowing a gale outside, when we just had 30-degree weather only 2 days ago. Anyway, let's get onto the video. So I've seen this question crop up a couple of times on various Facebook groups, so I thought I'd answer it here. Is Logic worth it? A lot of existing GarageBand users want to know if they should make the switch to Logic, but the answer isn't that simple. Let's take a closer look. Very quickly, we'll have a look at GarageBand. There are a bunch of cool features that come with GarageBand. It's pretty incredible what you get for free. You get a few thousand loops to play with, as well as a ton of useful presets and some seriously decent plugins. Some of these are very similar to the Logic plugins. You could pretty easily make some good quality music in GarageBand, and I've personally seen a bunch of professional music made using GarageBand only plugins. Okay, so we've had a look at GarageBand, so let's see what you get when you spend the extra £200 on Logic. And before we get into using Logic, if you already have this DAW, I highly recommend turning on Advanced Tools. Simply go to Logic Pro X, Preferences, Advanced Tools, and turn on Advanced Tools and enable all. Without turning this on, you're essentially running GarageBand Pro, as I like to call it, with a lot of key features missing. I think the biggest cosmetic difference occurs once you press the X on the keyboard. This is the virtual mixing desk, and it's brilliant for my workflow. I can add plugins, control volume levels, and copy-paste channel strips very quickly from this window. Speaking of channel strips, this menu here is where you access the biggest feature, bus sends. In its simplest form, bus and auxiliary sends are digital paths that allow you to route multiple audio signals to a track. Most commonly, you would route multiple tracks through a bus containing a reverb, so all your instruments share an identical reverb. As well as this, buses are used in the studio workspace, so you can route your output to a separate headphone mix for musicians to play to. Logic also comes with thousands of more loops, with well over 20,000 to boot, as well as more presets, more audio effects with vintage EQs, different reverbs, and compressors being highlights of this selection. The collection of virtual instruments is incredible in Logic, with loads of different synths and samplers to use in your recordings. So yes, Logic is way more powerful than GarageBand, but GarageBand does have one final ace to play. A £30 app called Mainstage. Mainstage is the live cousin to GarageBand and Logic, being used in a live setting rather than in a studio setting. However, Mainstage comes with all of the virtual instruments included in Logic, so you can technically create presets in Mainstage, save them to GarageBand, and use them in your project while saving yourself a lot of money in the process. I'll have a video about this linked in the description below. So if you are thinking about making the move to Logic for the virtual instruments alone, then maybe you should consider spending £170 less for Mainstage. So what are my final thoughts on this? GarageBand is a brilliant free DAW. It's a very easy and wallet-friendly way to get into making music. Yes, it has its drawbacks, but if you're using GarageBand and don't feel limited by some of its shortcomings, then switching to Logic probably isn't for you. However, if you do find some of the features in Logic enticing, then I urge you to snag Logic now, as Apple is currently running a 90-day free trial for the DAW. And with that, we've come to the end of the video. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.